help us to moderate a little bit these meets the registi. So we will start the conversation, and we definitely want a feedback. Students are really invited to participate.
Thank you for being here on a lovely Friday afternoon. The interesting thing about the directors who are all here is that they have all created comic films. And it became apparent to me that this would be a very good topic to focus on. So what I wanted to start the conversation with today was, one is the sort of tradition of comedy in Italian cinema, and how that relates to their films and the kind of forms that they're working with and how their films fit in with that tradition, and also how those traditions are evolving through their films. So one is in Italian comedy in general and how their films fit. The second part of that is that you have two of these films taking place in Naples, one in Bari. So what we have is a particular kind of Italian comedy that's really one rooted in the South. In fact, our friend Nico here wrote this book called The Italian Cinema Comedy in the South, Southern Italy. So I think that we have three directors here, and also it turns out that Giovanna, which I didn't know, is from Naples as well, and I thought that she could give us a perspective, not even that academic or formal, but really is Neapolitan, how these comedies reflect the reality of the life that she knew. So perhaps one of you will start with the tradition of comedy in Italian cinema.
Okay, they said that I have to start, and probably the last should start. Also because I'm not from Naples. I made my movie in Naples, on Naples, and particularly on the Sri Lanka community in Naples. Well, comedy for me was a perfect way to, dealing with the reality as we know it, to contemporary Italy and to all contemporary, Italian problems in a very good way. We have an enormous tradition, as you just said, of comedy. I think that probably Italy is even more, I don't know if most Italian cinema is most recognized for comedy or for dramatic films, because, for example, I was thinking about even contemporary authors like Nanni Moretti came out of comedy, or Benigni, he won the Oscar, and he's a comedian. And, well, the thing is that, comedy is a perfect way of being free and able to say whatever you want to, even if it's like something even critical, or even if you want to present a particular, mood point of view or a critical point of view on the society where you're living, I think. So it's a perfect media. We have wonderful authors like, for example, Monicelli, which is one of my favorite. He was dealing with very big issues, telling stories about the war, for example, like La Grande Guerra. I'm thinking at that wonderful movie. It's a movie on the First World War, and it's a comedy, and it's just fantastic. And Italian comedy in our tradition also usually puts together drama and very, tough stories about our societies, our way of living, and about Italians, and tells the story through irony. Mm-hmm. What's the right pronunciation? Thank you very much. Sorry for language. Irony and humor, which is essential, I think, also in Italian mentality to overcome to all the issues that everybody has in life, And so basically that's why I have chosen comedy to tell my story. Naples and southern Italy. Well, Naples for me was, it was because I wanted to tell a story about immigration, which is, I mean, it has been a big issue in the past few years in our country because of the government that we had, who was very strict and not very, I mean, it was a disaster, particularly on immigration. And so I wanted to tell a story of immigration in a funny way, with humor. And so I was looking for something that allowed me to do that. And I found this incredible thing in Naples, which is, okay, I went to Naples to pay a visit to a friend of mine. And in one of the central squares of Naples, which is called Piazza Dante, I saw this image, which was very important to me because it was the beginning of everything. I saw on one side of the square there was this group of street kids, scugnizi, as they call them, playing soccer. And on the other side of the street there was this group of very elegant Sri Lanka kids playing cricket. Actually, it is quite extraordinary because nobody knows what cricket is in our country. But really, I mean, it's not like totally unknown. And so I was so, you know, really, I mean, colpita, how do you say that? I mean, struck, yeah, with this image that I started making researches, and I moved to Naples into the places where they live, into the neighbors where they live, and which are central neighbors and very popular, kind of very, it's not popular, it's very, you know, like working class kind of areas, even sometimes a bit dangerous, but actually I didn't have any problem, but very lively, and I found out about this community, which is incredible because it's like hidden under everybody's eyes, well, it's a sort of chemistry. I think that Naples also, for me, which I'm not a Napolitanian, is quite interesting because it's a sort of, there's my leading actor, his name is Gianfelice Imparato, he's from Naples, and he says that Naples is a sort of a social lab where, you know, everything comes out, and also the interesting thing is that it's a sort of a mixture between the different aspects of Italian personality, I think, but without veils, you know, I mean, you can see all the contradictions very well. And so I fell in love with the city, and well, was I too long?
No,
Perfect. So much.
Before listening to them, I just want to specify maybe for students what is the difference with the comedy and the comedy Italian style. As Paola pointed out, there is a little difference between, you know, what you know for comedy and comedy Italian styles. It's the backbone of our Italian cinema, together with the neorealism, and also it's based on sort of the mockery of vices, not virtues, vices of the, you know, the middle Italian, the typical Italian. So the fact that there is a lot of cynicism, not happy ending, but always this, you know, this borderline also with the, you know, a sort of critic of the Italian society. It's very important, and it's evident always in the old tradition of Italian comedies, Italian style. That's why it's called the comedy Italian style. But also, I believe, especially today, this new generation of filmmakers are pointing out this change with this phenomenon of globalization. I mean, in the past it was just, you know, the you know, divorce Italian styles, and just making fun of some of the system, of the typical, you know, the typical Italian. But now, new phenomena, you know, new situations are happening in Italy. Italy is becoming more and more, you know, cosmopolitan. We have a lot of immigrants. The cultural landscape is changing a lot. And I believe that they are anticipating what is going to happen. Filmmakers, they are anticipating what's going to happen. Nico, on the other hand, had more nostalgic look at what happened to the past with the Petrocelli Theatre, with the Belle Époque, but also in his other movies like Focaccia Blues, there is this look towards what's happening, making fun also of Italian reaction, all our weaknesses, or what's happening in our cultural landscape. So that's what I want to specify. It's not cheap flick or the kind of Italian comedy, American comedy that you find. It's a different Italian style comedy. So the comedy Italian style, comedy Italian style. So sorry for interrupting. You are next. Bye.
About comedy, what can I say? If cinema is a way to say what is life, I think life is very paradoxal, so the comedy is a good picture of this. So I think that comedy is a good way to tell something about life. That's in my opinion. And the south of Italy is a very concentrate of paradox situations. It's a good way to understand what even Paola was talking about. When you can see cricket and soccer together in the same square, that's Naples. I think that's life. So if our job is looking for a synthetic situation that speaks about life, I think that the comedy is a good way to follow. After that, question.
It's just tragic because I not talk so good English, and this is but my emotion is too much complicated. I am very emotional because it's young. Now it's very near the young people that live in Charleston. Because yesterday I go around the street, I see it's very beautiful young people, go around in the pub. And this is, for me, it's very good energy, because I think that the life here is very, very strong. I prefer the city with the sea, because when you have the mount, it's closed, the life, It's not possible to see in the other part of the mount. The sea is open, and then it's just a good situation for me. My English is good.
Good. Fantastic.
What better than your Italian?
Napoletano, the comedy born when it's tragic life. More tragic, more comedy, And in fact, my life is more tragic as the people life with me. Every time. I stay here and my wife for me, you not pay the condominium. Why? Because the song is so. You have the little men that are looking for the 1,000 euro because not to pay. And I received the phone yesterday that my car that stay in Italy is not in just part of the condominium. You know what is condominium? Because our life is closed. It's the same with the mount. Also in my town, that we have the sea, we have the mount. Big mount. You get up early in the morning, you go down and meet the people, and you not see you, because you have the mount. Oh, good morning.
What is the mount? Exactly.
Mountain. Mountain.
Capiamo.
Because I think the question, the mountain. The mountain. The mountain, little or big, is always the same. Every time you have the mountain, and we are close to the mountain. Also, you should stay in the town with the sea. And this is tragic. But the people, when you see this situation, it's really very, it's very, sono contento, no? Very happy. Because your lives, you stay in, no? And I am very happy. If you dead, I am very happy. If you go down, I am very happy. If people come inside and maybe go down because you stay the position of banana, a banana, we all people, ha ha ha, we are very happy, no? This is the, I don't understand why, but it's so, no? Maybe this is the comedy in tragic, maybe, I don't know. The life is, come si dice, apparentemente, no? È apparentemente molto tragica, no?
Seems to be very tragic.
Apparently very tragic.
And other people, come si dice, ridono, laugh?
Everyone laughs, right?
When I stay in Stockholm, Sweden, and show my movie, I stay in a theater, the same as one, I stay all full, all people look my movie, no laugh, all movie. No, all movies silent. Oh, it's encouraged, because sometimes I have the, I remember that when staying in Germany, in another country, some people say, ha ha ha. In Sweden, nothing. This is tragic for me. At the end of the movie, all together for 5 minutes, ha 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 ha, because all at the end of the movie, because they laugh all on the end of the movie, because we are correct, not too much passion, it's too much control, no? Self-control. And this is the difference from the North and South, maybe, no? Because if you come in my country and you go down, immediately, ha ha ha, stupid, ha. And if you show me the Sweden movie, it's difficult to read the film very no?
In a Swedish
It's difficult.
To say the least.
Sometimes it's possible, I don't know. I don't remember enough movie that come from Sweden. Feel bad, but every time I see again film or movie of Bergman, it's incredible movie, but not understand all until now. I repeat it again. And this is the difference from the maybe from the North and South, and from tragic and comedy. This is my opinion. No?
Anthony was asking me about my opinion about Naples. Honestly, when I put together all these movies, I have to say it's not because I, it was a biased kind of selection. It just occurred to me later that were, southern movies, mostly were southern movies, and two based in Naples. I have to confess, it was not planned. It just happened. But then actually you're attracted to things that you know, so maybe it was subconsciously. But I think that movie directors, Paola pointed out, and also as Edoardo pointed out, Naples is exposed. You can see the big contradictions, and you can see, I always have beautiful, cherished, wonderful images of these ladies in Quartieri Spagnoli in Naples, and playing cards and tombola with the femminili. There's this integration, the fact that you do not see borders. It's not this is the other. Everything it's there, but it's integrated. It's more intricate than the lively, in a certain sense. And again, Naples is where you can see and visualize these huge contradictions that are life, that what there is alive. So I think that's why it's easy also to portray a little bit the South, besides productions, reasons and film commissions, especially the Puglia Film Commission and stuff like that, Naples Film Commission, I don't think so. No, but this is one of the reasons why it's easy to also to portray the South, and maybe movie directors are attracted to that, to do that.
I just want to point out a couple of things that were said. One is, in Italian comedy, yes, they're able to criticize society, traditions, Salotto Abbandonata, films like that, but they're also really able, they're very self-deprecating. They can laugh at themselves. I think one of the reasons for the comedy is because it enables them to cope, to survive, to find the joy in life that otherwise might be missing. And I was talking to an Italian who's here, and she said in Italian, it's easy to love Italy from afar. So that, in a sense, when you're living there and you have all the contradictions and the difficulties and the political situations, the economy, there's great beauty, and also there's great deprivation. So the whole entire society has these kind of contradictions and always have had, and also stark contrasts. A film comes to mind if you want to see very vividly what Nico was talking about in terms of the difference between the North and the South, and not just North and South of Italy, but the Nordic countries in the South. There's a wonderful film by Jim Jarmusch. I don't know if you've seen it, called I think it's called Nights on Earth or Night on Earth. It's basically Roberto Benigni is in one of the vignettes. And he plays a taxi driver in which he has a priest in the backseat. And it is absolutely hilarious. It's Benigni at his best. And then you have one, I think it's in Finland. And I was in Finland and I had the same experience. They were very closed, very rigid, very programmed. It gets dark at 3 o'clock there for months, so I guess it's pretty gloomy. But I recommend that you see that movie because it really does illustrate what he's saying. Since we have, this is called New Italian Cinema, I thought it would be interesting for the audience to talk about the challenges, the difficulties, as well as the opportunities for filmmakers who are working in Italy today in terms of making cinema. Paola, this is her first feature film, I believe.
Yeah, yes, it is.
And we saw Mozzarella Stores last night. It was her first feature film, and other films. But so there's different challenges, and yet there's different opportunities. When you look at funding, for example, the system is very different in many ways than what we have here. So if you could talk something about just making your way in the film industry and what's that like?
It's probably more experience.
But actually, it might be
This is a comment. This is very common.
Experience.
No, this is common. Because when my mother asked me what is my job, until now. And I phoned yesterday, Mom, I stay in Charleston and show my movie. She not understand why I stay here. Show my movie. For her it's difficult to understand what is show movie in Charleston, no? And because in Italy, this is very funny, show business, not a business, show artist, poet, it's folk, arts, no?
It's crazy.
And for this reason, it's difficult also the political man understand what is the use of the artistic, poetic language. And it's difficult to, I think it's better that you make movie. We are looking for the money if it's possible, otherwise it's too much tragic to ask it and to receive money. But this is the question. It's necessary that you are look for take a movie, and when the movie is finished, then begin the new difficult for sure this movie. Especially for the Italian movie, because we have only Italian country for sure our movie, no? It's difficult also for the language. If Jim Jarmusch make a movie in English language, it's easy because we go in half part of the world. For us, if we make a movie in Italian language, we have maybe not much, quanti sono 54 milioni di abitanti, no? Considerando che and maybe only 10% see the movie, no? The other people see on TV every time on computer, no? And if you come in the movie and you see the movie, you pay the ticket, it's not easy. Non mi sono mai disperato, no?
Never despair. Never despair.
This is my job. It's to divertirmi, no? To play every time, also in tragic situation. And I show movie 20 years ago. I received from the Italian Ministry of Culture the authorization for go around a cinema ambulante. Cinema ambulante, cioè,
Oh yeah, so traveling shows.
not in theater, not in theater, but in the street, on the road, in when it's possible to show the movie, I stop the car and use the 35mm. It's not easy, no? But I have all the, come si dice, tutta l'attrezzatura.
Yeah, and all the equipment. It sounds like he just set up his own little shows, his own screens.
And it's also divertimento, mi sono divertito, I play, and at the same time I ask money.
You don't collect and finance a movie by people like putting money into something that then will pay them back. Okay? So, because traditionally in Italy, film is considered a sort of a cultural important issue. So traditionally, we have public funds for filmmakers. I mean, there's a small part of industry, which is industry, like, I don't know, smash hits, comedies, or stuff like that, which are not made for market outside of Italy, just for Italian market, mainly for Italian market. They are smash hits, they make a lot of money, and so they don't need public funds. On the other hand, you have till today, you had three main financing tools, financing like institutions that would finance your film. And the three main institutions were Ministry of Culture. You could apply for funding for the Ministry of Culture, and they would give you money both to develop the script and then to production. You make the application, like they would give the prize to like up to 10 projects per year. Then second thing, and there's a special fund also for first films. So if it's your first movie, first and second movie have a specific area of financing which is public. Then the other two main, leading things are televisions. We have two televisions that had specific funding for, or funds for cinema. One is RAI, which is a national television, which is more or less public. And the other one is Mediaset, which is Berlusconi television. Okay, so it's not Mediaset is not only television, but Berlusconi owns also an enormous amount of theaters, and so has a big distribution company called Medusa, which deals with production and distribution company. So these were the three main, funds where you could fundraise for making a movie. The thing is that due to the crisis and due to a lot of other problems, these funds have been drastically reduced. So once upon a time you could, ages ago you could even make a movie only, we are talking about really low budget movie, no comparison to American products. Like for example, I talk about me, my movie has been shot with 600,000 euros. Which is really low budget movie compared to an average low budget American movie, for example, which I think is, I don't know exactly how many times more, like more than 10 times more than that, okay?
I think they're about $10 to $12 million for a low budget.
Right. So, so what happens in Italy, from what I understood, I mean, I'm a beginner, so I hope I'm not saying anything wrong, but this is the system. So you got two ways, or you enter the industry, which is totally different. The industry is like making, I don't know, a product. So you sit, I've been to the industry actually to make an interview, because after my first movie, 3 guys from one of those industries who makes comedies and like smash hit comedies called me. They wanted to make a contract for 2 movies with me. And so it was very interesting, because they sit down with you and they say, okay, so this is the actress, the leading actress, this is the story, and so this is the budget, and this is how you're going to shoot it. All right? And so I've been asking, well, why me? I mean, anybody can do this. I mean, why did you call me? Because it was a female story, and so for a marketing research, they decided they had to have a story written by a woman with a female main character and a female director. Okay. So, if you want to be, because in our country also there's a big tradition of being an author, so to speak, which means that you write your own movie, okay? You write, direct, and I mean, it's more, a sort of a more global vision of everything. I mean, it's this. So, more or less. So the thing is, if you want to do your own stuff, basically you have to rely on independent cinema, which is the main, I mean the core business in Italy. I mean, we do mainly independent cinema, and independent cinema relies on these 3 different kind of sources. Now Mediaset is like closed any kind of financing, because Berlusconi went on crisis, you know, I mean, he managed to sort of got break again, and I don't know how, but I mean, he managed to get messy again. He's poor. No, he's not going to be poor, I'm afraid, but anyways, he's in a mess, and so he decided not to finance anymore, and Rai Cinema, which is the television, public television company, they cut like more than half of their budget, totally, and ministry also. So we also rely on small film commissions from regional film commissions. So that's why you, for example, if you go to Venice Film Festival one year and you see that like the 90%, no, the 70% of the films are shot in Puglia, for example, which is a region, is probably because the film commission is quite rich. So everybody went there and to make the movie because of that. So this is what I understood. Sometimes they try to make co-productions with foreign countries, which are maybe European countries, because there are also European funds for filmmaking. And like France, for example, or Germany. But now that's getting a bit too difficult too.
The money that Paola and me we had 2 years ago to make our movies from Minister, they are not there anymore. They cut So our country actually is like a noble man that now is poor and he doesn't know. So this is my feeling in this moment. But I think that money is a problem because you need money to make show. Without money you can make show. Without money you can tell story anyway. So this is the problem. Our question should be which story, which way to tell stories. We come from a big tradition. It's a very big treasure. It's a big treasure, but can be a limit because everybody all around the world thinks about Italian cinema, Italian comedy style, thinking about Monicelli, Pietro Germi, thinking about the god Fellini. But now we live in that country, we live in Italy, we tell story in our way, putting our hands in this treasure, trying to find what we need and trying to tell our stories in a new way. This is very important, and we will tell this all around the world. We are poor now, more or less like after the Second World War, more or less in the same way. Not all people know this. This is the secret.
It's important, and it's something good to have a recognition of the cultural value of something that you make, and so it's good to have public funding. But on the other hand, it cannot be the only way of financing something which should reach the people, and it's show business. People should pay for it, and so. I think that it's not that bad. I think that producers in Italy do have now to find another way of getting money, and we should, as authors, should find another way of proposing our stories in the way that they can be produced and then released successfully. So I think that it was about time of the revolution, and it's always bad to have a revolution caused by such an enormous crisis, okay? But when you don't have money, you got to have ideas, because this is the only way of doing it. I mean, we all make movies with no money, almost no money, and the only thing that allowed us to make a movie, which is now going to be screened here in Charleston, which is not next door, I'm thrilled to be here, is because we tried to find ideas. So basically, I'm not that negative, I'm positive. I mean, I really do think that we needed a shake, and that we should have expected it also, because I mean...
Budget, we had a minister, we had Eagle Pictures, Bavaria Pictures, Centro Sperimentale di Cinematografia, Cinecittà Studios. We had quite a budget, but we were in, uno stato, come si dice? Stacked. Yes. So we
Still, yeah.
yes.
Stalled.
We didn't start. Nobody knows why. We just need other 100,000 euros. We're ready. And at that time, arise a woman, entrepreneur from Puglia, from Lecce. She has got car parking. She put this 100 euros on the table, and from that moment, all people put their money. I remember this because I think that it means that we need to have the courage, we need to be brave to put the first euro, the first dollar, just to start, to find the other money.
Talking about the emergence of a new cinema out of poverty reminds me the same language we're speaking sounds like Albertini and neorealism. That is, after World War II, the Italian, not only economy and society is pretty much destroyed, but certainly Cinecittà, there was no system whatsoever. So what the Italians did is created a new cinema out of all of those restrictions. So they didn't have for example, they didn't have studios, they didn't have large sound trucks, they couldn't afford stars or many stars. And the main thing that it echoes exactly what you were saying. The main thing they decided on is what stories should we tell? What are the stories that will engage the people to reflect on their lives, reflect on reality, and also to think about the future and the direction in which the country is going. And I think that is exactly what your films are doing through comedy. So it seems to me that maybe we're beginning a new cycle of creativity and looking at old forms and creating alternatives, or at least innovations within those forms.